Hey, I've got a new student, and he wants to learn jazz guitar so he can play in the jazz band at school. That's kind of a sensitive topic to me because I failed at jazz band in school. Even though I could play in the key of E flat, A flat, B flat, I didn't know the chords. I didn't know what an 11th chord was, or a C/G, C over G, or I didn't know any of the symbols. So, I knew minor and major. Anyway, I will do better for this guy, so he will be prepared. But, all those chords are still overwhelming. The kid's 13. He's got piano background, and I think he plays a trumpet. So he is a very good student. We've only had 2 lessons. So I was thinking, how will I get him started? Well, we're going to do sight reading out of a book. So he'll at least know how to read the treble clef on guitar, or at least get started with that. And we're doing the standard, we're studying blues progressions and power chords and normal, what I call cowboy chords. But jazz type chords are more up the neck. So you really have to know the whole neck. So we're learning the notes, like E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, so we can find the root of the chord and assemble the right shape on that root. But there's another method I'm going to introduce. It's sort of like, it's from a article I saw on Guitar Player many years ago called the bead game. Kind of like the beads on an abacus. So if we think of these as the wires or the straight pieces of metal, then you slide. The beads are going to be the notes sliding. Okay, so let's get right into it. This is the sound I'm going to work on. Check this out. Where's my sound? So that was like a G major, a G major 7, a G7, and a G6. You can probably see that 2 notes stayed the same while the bass note descended. So let's just check what shape I'm working off of. It looks like here's F, take it up 2 frets. That's G, that's what I'm using, but I'm not really barring the first string, so I'm simply doing a root 3rd 5th, G, B, D, or 5, 4, 3. Good shape. All right, so if we then the notes I modified are 5, 4, 3, 2 for fret numbers. That's G, F sharp, F, and E. And that's, let's say we're going to play in the key of C. C major 7, C7, C6. So it's kind of a clear way to see the difference between chords versus kind of a tangled up shape. So I hope this works for him. Let's just do it down here again in G. So the fingering, you have to. That looks just like an A minor, really. So these 2 fingers have to change strings. This middle goes just over 1, while ring goes over and down across. So they switch strings. Middle stays on the same fret. Ring has to go to another fret and another string. G7 is kind of a big scramble, but ring stays the same when you go to G7. It's pointer that goes over to this 3rd fret, 4th string note, middle finger, 2nd string, 3rd fret D. Looks just like a D chord actually. So here's like an F shape, A minor shape, D shape. Only since it's in a string and not on the skinny strings, it's a way different formula, so it's not going to sound like a D chord. So that's your dominant 7th, 3rd, and 5th. Then our 6th chord, that's the 6th interval, E, with my pointer finger, ring, and middle. That's fairly simple mechanically, but can we remember that is the question, or can we practice it? It does come in useful. I have gotten mileage out of that. So that's one way we could learn jazz type chords, or I'd probably say let's get used to the B flat chord because horns play in B flat. So I'm gonna coach him to be ready to grab that B flat note without a lot of hesitation. So, you know, A is at the 5th fret, B is at the 7th fret, right between them is B flat at the 6th fret. I guess you could just do a B flat bar chord, or a B flat 7, or a B flat 9th, or a B minor, a B flat minor 7. Let's see, what else could you do? A B flat major 7, a B flat 6, a B flat minor 6, a B flat diminished 7. What else? Maybe a B flat augmented. That would cover quite a bit of stuff. Maybe a B flat suspended 4th. A B flat 7 suspended 4th. Oops. That's painful. Maybe. So, yeah. How about B flat 7 like this? Or a B flat 6? Yeah, we did that. Did we? That's a good, that's close to what I was saying on like, yikes. Ugh. That's another way if you want to get a low root in there. So you just have to be a chord wizard. So you can teach them like, okay, here's the shape you have to play for this song. Let's just do each shape as we encounter them. But the problem is you're not really understanding the context of or why the shape looks like that or sounds like that. You don't know, what's the major 7th, what's the 6th, and all that. Exhausting. So you really, to know that, you need to know, like, say, a B flat scale. Which is a lot to impose on a kid. But so we'll have to introduce that. All these things will interlock, and that's just my method. I do have books on jazz chords that are step-by-step. One from Progressive Series that I may have used for some of this material. That's tedious. So we'll see how it goes with this. I think we'll get there. I have had students that are, beginning guitar, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks in, they're kind of struggling. It might be like maybe they start in June, struggle through June and July, and then, into the school year, and then they'll say, guess what? I'm like, what? I joined jazz band. I'm like, you did what? Because you should tell me that so I can at least get you ready for it. And so I'm like, all right, bring the music in. And then it's like the stuff I find it difficult. It's not that, when you, I think this is how it works. Jazz band at school, public school, they have their horn parts, and that's the main focus. And they're just playing one note at a time, and they've been trained to sight read, while the guitar player has to play these multiple, 5-note shapes or whatever that are in weird keys, not E, A, D, G, C, like a civilized guitar player, but B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat. You got to know your flats. So it's kind of a big. I don't think the teacher realizes how difficult that is for a lot of the, And then there's like a rhythm you have to figure out. Like you have to read timing plus change those chords on the beat. And so that's why you don't hear, when you hear school bands, jazz bands, they usually don't turn the guitar player up very loud. But my students have gone on to win contests and win awards and do really well. So I think it can be done. I really do. A lot better than I could do when I was a student in school. All right. Well, let's call these sort of like shell shapes. And we can do more of these. I really love the shell shapes. So we'll cut it short here. Define short. So this is a crazy week. I had a big rehearsal on Monday, and then I play kind of a big festival tonight in Des Moines, West Des Moines, and then Friday I play a kind of a larger festival with my Stones tribute act. And then nothing Saturday. Sunday I got to play with the drive-ins at Hillside, which is always kind of let's just say it's sort of a geriatric mosh pit. So that's a fun one. So I think it's 3 outdoor gigs in a row. So that's going to be fun. So we'll see how I survive that. I'm battling fatigue pretty kind of brain fog after that trip. I'm been forgetting some stuff. So we'll see how it goes. And if you need any help with those chord shapes, let me know. And I'm just going to prepare for the gig today. So I'm excited about that. All right, keep practicing and work on some of those little shapes. See if you can. Really, you don't need the full 6 strings. Maybe 3 notes for a chord. Sometimes is perfect. Okay, man.